Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update post crash. With that being said, hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, guys. So we did have that market crash. Yes, I'm going to refer to it as a market crash because that is kind of what happened. Everything plummeted overnight. We had VIX up 180% at the highs. It almost pushed VIX's all-time high, all right, which is up at 95 bucks, all right. We almost pushed the COVID 2020 high, which is up at 85 bucks. We got real stankin' close to that guy, and I thought that was going to be taken out this morning, all right. So I am just going to say we are going to cover the charts like normal throughout this video, but I am definitely going to point out that what we just saw is that's what happens in a crash. I literally made a joke the other day and I said, guys, we're not crashing because things have been falling slowly. When you do crash, you get QQ gapping down like 3.5%, I think it was. All right. Yeah, you gap down 3%. Well, I got what I was making fun of over there. I was saying, you know, it's falling in it's declining, it's pulling back in the slow manner. It's not a crash. What happens the next day? Bang. All right, gap down, like an immense gap down there. All right, that was at the high. Well, where we opened here was a minus 4%. All right, so I am definitely going to just say, like, you know, we are in uncharted waters right now. This stuff has not happened since COVID 2020, and when it did happen, we went much lower. All right, so that is just, you know, something I want to be very vocal about here. The reason things have not been working out so well on these oversold indicators and, you know, our, you know, VIX being above 65 on the daily RSI is because, you know, if you guys have been around here for a while, you've heard me say this exact phrase every time we bring it up. Guys, unless the market is crashing, VIX is going to be crushed when it is over 65 on the daily RSI. Well, what happened? It wasn't getting crushed. It wasn't getting crushed. And guys, we finally know why. All right, so put a smile on your face. We finally know why things have not been making so much sense for the past week. It's because we did have a market crash right around the corner. And you know what, guys? I'm not saying it's over, but I am definitely going to say, all right, if you are buying options in this environment, all right, leap options are going to be your best friends. So they're going to be the ones without the insane IV pumps. All right. And they're also going to be the ones that, you know, if you do buy a falling knife and you suffer some drawdown, all right, you buy SPY and it falls a little bit. Well, guess what? Maybe a month goes by, but price is going to be in the same spot. You're not going to have so much data on your contract. If you have a year on that, 1/12 of the contract is going to be gone. What happens if you only had 2 months on your calls there and, you know, the thing died and came back to the same price a month later? Well, you are now down 50%. So guaranteed leaps in this environment are going to be your best friend. That is just how I see things. All right, we had IV, you know, up the freaking wazoo this morning, and a bunch of these things, you know, with how much they just dropped, the premiums were just holding up. So, you know, you couldn't even get the best deals on all of them. So I'm just gonna, you know, speak my mind there. That is what I think is best, and you know, only my opinion will be shared on this channel. Financial advice will ever be given, but you know, that is just my thoughts there. Leaps are going to be the things that really do benefit. And if you want to just straight up, if you know price is going to be higher than it is currently, wherever you're buying at, if you know price is going to be higher than it is currently in the, you know, the midterm future, a few months down the line, a few weeks down the line, whatever your time frame is there, that's when leaps are going to be your best friend because you do not have to suffer all the theta decay. No, they're not going to be crazy gainers, but in these times, all right, these, you know, you want to buy some panic, you want to buy some fear. That is the only way that I see to safely do it in this environment. So I'm just going to speak my mind on that one. And that is that. All right. Now moving forward, we're just going to start off here on SPY here. Daily time frame, daily RSI, closing out near 30. Okay. It's literally in the 30s right now. You came down to 510.75 support. You bounced off of 510.75 support. You also did end up holding the 0.786 fib. We're going to go over futures after we cover SPY and QQ here. We're going to cover ES and NQ and point out, you know, what the full picture look is because we only have the trading session here. We don't have the, you know, overnight session, what really happened over the past 24 hours. All right. But yeah, over here in SPY, guys, you have 518.36 as your support. You are now above that. I understand it was resistant. Now it should be, you know, acting as support. Okay, and then the next upside level is going to be 524.61. Above there, we have 528.60. If you really can bust up above 528.60, we have 537.45 on the table. That is where you started breaking down from, and hit it with this minus freaking 10% decline. No, I was completely wrong. 50% wrong to be correct. All right. 5% decline. All right. So you bounce, we will have a 5% bounce on our hands, $26 off of the lows. But yeah, you did come down here and you bounced. So I'm going to point out right now on ES, you bounced right off that 0.786 fib, baby. Daily RSI is oversold. Same spot it bottomed out in last time. Same spot it bottomed out the last 3 times. It did hit oversold territory there. All right. And even coming back over here to your COVID crash, you did end up coming back down here. All right, you first hit it on this day right here. You had that slow decline, 2%, and then boom, you snapped up 4% from down there. From the bottom there, you did end up coming up 6%. But you did end up coming down. You took out those lows, bullish divergence, and then you had a major bottom get put in. It was the bottom that got put in and held, and then you just continuously looked for buying opportunities past that. All right, so the reason I said it didn't show the full picture is because we do have this large lower wick going on over here on ES, and then you come over to NQ, and you have a large hammer candlestick that looks like it is about... No, guys, it has closed out on the day. This is past 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when the futures market closes their daily candlesticks. All right, guys, so we have closed out with a hammer candlestick over here on NQ. You have held this uptrend right here. You have the same exact thing over here on ES, except you're, slightly under it. But here on NQ, you literally did close out with that hammer candlestick, held 17,949 support over there. There was, a breakout level. Okay, you really don't have much to go off of when it's just in free fall like that. But you did end up holding that. You held the low over here, so this was your next support. If this one did not hold, you did end up holding that. But in the end, guys, you did wick underneath that. You swept that level, and you closed above it with that heavy volume, large lower wick, daily RSI oversold. The thing's probably going to be bouncing back. I know we're in a crash scenario right now, but I'm definitely going to point out, all right, if things were just to stop crashing and go back to normal, this is exactly where, this is the setup here that goes rippy. And that's that. Okay, there's not much to say about it. What very clearly speaks to me on this chart here is you got this hammer candlestick. This thing looks like you got some fuel to get up to that level right over there where you broke down from. That is over 4% to the upside on NQ for you to look forward to. That's my thought over there. All right, so we went over SPY right there. QQQ is next up, guys. I am just going to say, all right, I had this on my chart earlier because I really did think you had a chance of just continuing to free fall here. Guys, in the end, 404. This is, I'm not saying it's going to be hit, but I am definitely going to say after what we saw today, if we see a major bounce here, okay, we got to get wary if the bounce starts coming into this spot right here. It's same spot I just pointed out on NQ. All right, on QQ, it's going to be 45563. If we come up and test 45563, we got to expect sellers there. Okay, we got to expect the sellers there. That is going to be the golden pocket of this, most recent decline there. It's going to line there. The 0.61 fib is going to be right there. So that's why we definitely got to look at that as a key level. If you get up here, that's where sellers have another shot at stepping in, and maybe, I'm just saying, maybe if we see a continuation off of what the heck just happened, all right, you can get down here to 404, which is going to be this whole freaking rally here. That's your 0.618 fib, all right? That is, something that we have seen before hold. For example, come over here to SPY. What do you got going right here, guys? All right, right there, right at the bottom. Okay, I know you gotta, do your thing, Mr. Magnet. Right there, you hit that 0.618 fib. You went off from that. Okay, I'm not saying that is going to be the case, but I am definitely going to be saying, hey, all right, it is a possibility from, this point moving forward, because you guys, you saw the same thing I saw. VIX was up 180% on the day. Warren Buffett sold his freaking positions into lows. Things aren't, that's not good. Okay. Go back to my videos where it shows all the videos, and you'll see we had the live stream with the title Market Crash ? It's because I wanted to talk about what didn't make sense. All right. I kind of wish, like I was pointing to it at, someone just, took such a large bet against the S&P 500 at the low. We saw VIX spike 40 freaking percent. All right, 40%. We saw VIX spike over here. It went from there 30%. Okay, we saw VIX spike 30%, which means bets were still being placed here. This candlestick right here it was right there. I'm going to show you where that is over here on SPY. Nope, right there. SPY. Okay, that was right over here at the low. Okay, it was literally coming into lows. People were taking these big old bets over there, and that's why I went live. And I wanted to talk about it. I want to say, hey, either someone knows something massive behind the scenes is about to happen, or someone's gonna get crushed. But what we do know is someone just took massive, bearish bets against the S&P 500 into the lows, which does tell us one thing for certain. They think they're going to make money by S&P 500 going lower than the current price. All right. So, the sign was there. I very clearly saw it. I just did not, I didn't think it would actually happen. I didn't think we'd see this. Like, who's going to actually think you see this? You're betting on the downfall of, all things US. I just, I don't typically tend to think all negative like that. I am sorry. I do apologize. Maybe I should be a perma bear again. All right, perma bears have had the glory recently. But that is that. Now, guys, the daily RSI is up at 87 still, even after we saw this thing fall 50% intraday. I know it closed 40%, but it did come all the way down here 31 intraday. That is a 50% decline since the top. All right, let's just review how did these things go before. All right, when you got that, big decline here, it was over the span of 3 days. Here we're getting that all in one day. Like, I'm serious, guys. Something could be behind the scenes. It could be, even crazier than we saw COVID. This thing took months, all right, or more specifically 3 weeks, all right. It took 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks there to have this spike that it just did. We got this in 2 days, 2 days versus our 3.5 weeks over there. Something is crazy behind the scenes, okay? That's all I'm saying. 85 in the weekly RSI over here. Monthly, all right, RSI at high of day was, right up here with this guy. Except, again, you took multi-months to get up there. This is just one spike. And you just get up there right away. I just, things are getting real crazy over here, guys. They're getting crazy. Let's just look at... only up 58%. That's like chump change over here. What the heck are you doing? All right, what are you doing? Either way, guys, that's what we're dealing with right now. 38.94. That is the key level to watch on VIX. You can see it literally closed right there. All right. But underneath that, guys, we have room to come all the way back down to 21.36. Now, I'm just going to say, all right, if it's not a market crash, this thing's going to get crushed. I understand we're doing this, but, it didn't do this over here. Okay. It didn't fall 50% the same day it rallied there. Could it be over? It could be over. Okay, I just showed you guys on NQ. You got the hammer candlestick. Okay, like a very clean hammer candlestick, holding the uptrend, holding your support, holding this support. Daily RSI is oversold. Heavy volume to support that candlestick. All right, now I'm also going to put something else in your radar that I put on the Discord's radar this morning, which is this. This is what I see. Okay, and I'm not saying it looks pretty, but I am definitely going to see on this bounce, guys, with what we just saw. If this thing really does decide to just bounce back from here, okay, you look for another freaking lower high here. And not another, but the first major lower high here on the weekly time frame. Okay, you look for that, and potentially come back down to these lows over here. Okay, and we break that freaking neckline right here. That's what I say. So we have like this. We have like it doesn't matter if you're going to look at it with the uptrend being the neckline there, like that. And then, you just got to break right here. And then that brings it like that, maybe. Okay. Or if it's just literally going to be something massive, like right here, like a massive head and shoulders pattern that has, boom, take that. We're going much lower. Okay. We're going way low here. I don't know how this thing's going to play out. I really have no idea how it's going to play out. I'm just going to point out what I see on these charts. Okay? That's that. Regardless, guys, I know things are crashing all around us. Blood is in the streets. Mass panics going on. All right? We got bad war news going on. We got bad data going on. I know everything looks very freaking grim. I know. Okay? I understand. It is not a time to panic. It's not. Okay? things suck. Okay, things suck, and they are what they are. But I am just going to say, all right, it is definitely not a time to just panic. It doesn't help you, it doesn't help anyone, and that's that. All right, what you could do is take a step back, see how you can avoid putting yourself in this situation you don't like currently. Okay, see how you can avoid that in the future. See how you can benefit off a move like this in the future. Go back and back test during these times. Okay, what didn't you see? Because there clearly were things that suggested price could be coming down here, and I didn't see it. You didn't see it. If you're mad about this, go do something about it. That's what I'm saying to you. Go, make something out of this. So that's that. Okay, those are motivational thoughts right there. I got you, buddy. I got you. But you know what, guys? Things suck, but they'll be okay. We probably are about to see a snapback. I'm going to be completely honest. All right. And maybe we see that into September and then, a drop into October. I don't know how this really shapes up, but we do definitely have something that we typically do see buyers spark up off of. We haven't had a candlestick like that in a very long time. Something like that close out like that. Let's just look back. Where do you see a massive wick like that? You just don't. Oh, bottom. That's where you see it. Bottom. Boom. Oh, bottom. Bottom. We probably are about to get a bid. Right over here, you did fade it, but then you ended up, from the high of that day, you did end up rallying 5.6%. Even from the low there, that's, almost 8%. You got a wick right here. You continue higher the following few trading sessions. Okay, like we see these wicks. It's just, buyers showing their attempt there. That's it. It doesn't have to hold, but we likely at least get a few days of bounce from these long lower wicks. So I was just waiting to see if we are going to close out like this. And you did on this and ES. I do have to assume we are going to be getting that at least multi-day bounce. But that's that. Again, guys, keep in mind, market crash. So, during these times, we're going to talk about things, but, definitely take things with a grain of salt. Do not expect things to go picture perfect like they have been in the past, because they're probably not going to be like that. And that's just that. I can't help it. Okay. On QQ, guys, on the downside, you're watching 420.63 and then 413.07. Okay. And then as I pointed out right there, 404 is your 0.618 fib if things get real freaking crazy. All right. On the upside, guys, I already pointed out the 455.63 level. That's like kind of my target here for this little bounce. That is the key spot. That is, we need to see the reaction to that, because that's going to dictate, are we going to get up here above 464.50? And then we say we're going to move to 473.82 up there. That's what comes next. If you start breaking above here, you come up here. Okay. But right here, we definitely look for sellers. Before that, we have 443.06 resistance. Then above there, we have 449.34. That is 443.06 and 449.34. Above there, 455.63. IWM, guys, daily RSI is, getting all the way back down. They're all in one go. Okay, so there's that. I am going to point out from this whole rally, you're definitely back in the golden pocket at this point in time. You broke underneath it, so we're not even going to point that out. Guys, this thing looks disgusting to me. That's all I could really say about this. It looks so beautiful. It looked like you were just coming in for the break and retest. You did not. You broke all the way back down and then took out the low, the previous, low you had in there. That's not a good look. All right. So definitely a sign of weakness there. I'm not really going to say you're going to be able to follow short-term technical analysis on these things. That's why I was saying before, guys, we're in a freaking market crash. I don't know what to say. I'm just really happy that I know why things haven't been, working out like they have over the last year and a half. I've been using some of these conditions for a while now, and, I just take certain bets when they get hit. And, it typically ends up working out for me in the end. Yeah, this time around, it did not work out. Spoiler, it did not work out. And there's that. Now, I'm just, I am glad to see the only time it did not work out for me was when we actually had the market crash and I did not, call the market crash. Okay. That was the only time. So I'm, that brings a smile to my face, but then, pain contradicts that smile. So, that we're neutral. Okay. You gotta laugh at pain in the end, guys. You gotta laugh, and that is what it is. I know there's a lot of pain out there right now. I understand. I feel you. Okay, I feel you. But IWM, guys, this thing is an ugly look. Support, the next major support underneath 197.41 is going to be all the way down at 191.34. Okay, so that's really what we're paying attention to. As resistance, you have 204.64 above there, 207.56. There's a chance we recoup a lot of these losses over the following trading sessions, because the short squeeze setup is what we definitely have right now across the board. That's that, especially on NQ, like I just pointed out. All right, DIA, how we looking over there? Came right underneath the 0.786 fib, guys. So we're going to take that thing off. This thing's also looking ugly, all right? From this point on, when you break the 0.786 fib, you usually are going to test the 100% retracement, which in this case was all the way down here at 380.41. The next support levels are going to be 383.63 and 380.41. As resistance, what do we have, guys? We have 389.01, and above there, we are going to use this low as our resistance, and above there we have another one. We could slap it on right there. Okay, guys, so above 389.01 we have 393.56. Above there we have 398.08, and above there we have 401. Okay, but you know, guys, hey, we're gonna need to see a crazy rebound to start talking about 401 again. So let's get it. Okay, let's get it. VIX, we already talked about it, guys. All right, weekly RSI all the way up there. Monthly RSI is all the way up there now, which is typically where, you know, it majorly crushes for months on end from every time it gets hit. Doesn't really hit there that often, and that's definitely something noteworthy to talk about. But on the weekly RSI alone, guys, you're at 85. Okay. Up here, you were 85. You're actually higher than over here when you were at the high of day. You just came back down. But yeah, guys, I mean, this isn't going to sustain itself. I know it looks terrifying, and I understand that. But we also do have to understand that, you know, the market probably isn't actually, like, let's come back over here. Things still don't add up to me. They don't. Why did VIX do this? And we haven't seen nothing yet. Like, if we're going to see something, why did VIX just do that when the market in a week and a half sold off 16.3% over here? Okay, that justifies your VIX spike like that. Why did we just see what we saw? Like, we either got something crazy around the corner, like this thing's gonna see a COVID crash just all at once within like a week. All right, we see this 30% drop. Okay, either we got something like that around the corner, or it is going to turn into this slow, you know, moving thing. And we got to short that pop. And that'll be that. But I'm still going to say this VIX action makes no freaking sense off of what we're seeing over here on SPY and QQ. I'm just saying. VIX to spike 180% intraday makes no sense to me. Okay? With what we're seeing right now. I just showed you 16% down in 1.5 weeks. This was 26 days here, 3.5 weeks, and it's 16%. And now in the last go, now VIX spikes, all right? So maybe it's just playing some catch up. It was being suppressed or something like that. I have no idea, but definitely something to talk about right there. Like, you know, that's why I said the leap thing, guys. Now we officially are in the territory where I'll say, hey, all right, market crash is kind of happening right around us. I understand, you know, things, if you take away the market crash and that whole sentiment, yeah, all right, we're bottoming. It's right here. We know it, okay? But then you know, got to keep in mind, hey, VIX just did all that. We just got this. There could be a lot. Let's look at it this way. VIX spiked before, okay? We got this little spike over here, and it warned us that someone big thought we were going lower than the lows, okay, that we had on Friday. Well, then we got this, okay? Well, into the end of day, you went from like 31 over here to 38. So as this thing in this little area here, VIX spiked 30%. Okay, so we know bearish bets were again taken on SPY. So I'm just saying, reason to be cautious on new buys here. If you're throwing fresh money in the market and you don't want to see it get obliterated on this, but you really just are so tempted to buy these fallen knives, leap options. Okay, the math will work how I just described. You get something with a year on it. A month goes by and price returns to the same exact price it was at when you bought it, but now there's one less month out of your 12 months. The thing is only going to be down like, what is that, 8.5%, 8.3%. That is how, you know, I see that as a winner here in this market environment, and that's my opinion. All right, so there's that. I know it's 24 minutes in. We've only talked about, you know, the indices here. Now we're going to speed run through everything else, because everything else, guys, are really, you know, it's all going to revolve around what we just discussed. All these things are going to be revolving around that. But, you know, the market as a whole is really looking all oversold and stuff. I know it was already looking oversold, but they all have the same exact look. We have these wide-bodied green bars with these upper wicks sitting there. Not the biggest upper wicks, but, you know, they are there. We can tell sellers, you know, got a little antsy into the close here. But over here on SMH, guys, you did have your daily RSI underneath 30 intraday when you were all the way down here. You were down quite a bit. Yeah, that's an 8% move down. Insane. Another one of these guys over here. Okay. So you got that, but I am just going to point out you came down to support and you started finding buyers. We have the same freaking look as NQ. All right. The same look. All right. You come up here, you can have an equivalent shoulder to the left one right there. You have a giant left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay. So on this bounce, you dang right better be wary when you start pushing some key spots. The key spot is 239.14 in this scenario. All right. Above 230.05, we have 239.14. That's what I'm really paying attention to over here on SMH. The video, guys, the big boy himself came all the way back down for this whole rally it's had. All right. This rally was 70%. You have now given back a lot of that rally. Okay. Over half of that rally, over 75% of that rally at this low over here. Okay. You are probably going to get buyers stepping in from this point forward on NVIDIA. I will also point out they keep killing the daily RSIs and then bringing them up by the closes, and then it makes it not so low. I wish they would just kill these things and let them get oversold conditions so we can see them for the close. It's pissing me off that you're not getting that. But I am also going to say 0.786 fib, bullish divergence on the daily RSI. 4-hour RSI does have that bullish divergence as well. You can see on the extended hours, you get the same thing over here. All right. And I really like how buyers stepped in right at the 0.786 fib. I think that's the best possible look we could have gotten here. All right. There's not really a better look than what we could have gotten here. You closed out right underneath the previous low that you broke down from, which was the low of that candlestick, 102.54. Above 102.54, you have nothing to 106.48. At a minimum here, before they, smack you back down, if they're gonna, you're going to test 106.48. The next key level after that is going to be that 118.04 level right there. Now, if you do take the golden pocket from this most recent impulsive move down, it's going to come in between 109 and 114. So you expect sellers there. If you get above 114, expect 118 to be tested. Those are my thoughts over here on Mr. NVIDIA. SMCI, guys, earnings tomorrow after the close. You have this downtrend. That's what I'm looking for a test of. The key level to watch on this chart is going to be 671. You are pricing, I think it's a 7% move on SMCI over here. It's 7 or 8%, I think I saw. The key spot is going to be the retest of this low right here, in between here and this other low right there. So in between 671 and 700, that's where you expect your sellers to step in there. Okay, you could very clearly see there was a battle. They're trying to hold on by a thread. The sellers kept bringing it down. Boom, buyers probably back up. Sellers probably there was a continuous battle going on there. So that's where we expect the battle to be brought back into the equation if tested. Okay, daily RSI is at 27.61. Yes, I do think this thing is about a rally off of earnings, but again, the market's been freaking crashing, and you haven't been able to call for a bounce on any of these big boy tickers in a month now. So yeah, I really don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna say, hey, earnings are a curveball. The market crash is a curveball, but yeah, unbiased look at this chart. This thing's gonna be bouncing. Okay, and that's really all I could say about that. See this whole impulsive run. Do you see where we are? Golden pocket. You can even take this thing down here. Do you see where you are? Golden pocket. I don't want to look like a fool again calling for freaking bottom, so I don't really want to say the bottom word here. I know I just said it a bunch. But, you just gave back again most of this rally. Okay, so, look at it for what it is. You gave back most of the rally here, 60% of the rally at this point in time, 65% around there. It's probably going to start bouncing around here. That's that. AVCO, guys, recovered that long-term uptrend by the end of the day. Look at that. Bullish divergence on that daily RSI. I like how things are looking. You got underneath that 0.786 fib, but I don't like how you stalled out right here at the support I was looking to hold, and now it has turned into that resistance. Okay, 143.82, that's the level to get over that. You gap above that tomorrow morning, and we probably start running up, in the next level that really speaks to me here on this chart is 149.15. Above 143.82, we got 149.15. Above there, okay, we're going to be looking at the high of that candlestick right there, 153.47. Above there, 156.40. That's going to be a key spot that we probably get sellers stepping in up there. Okay, ARM, what do we got? What do we got, guys? What do we got? Daily RSI hit 30. Okay, it was, you know, way under there. At market open over here, you came right down to your support at 97.76 and you rallied your butt off all day. Okay, you did end up hitting it with a 15% rally from that point. Okay, and now it's like nothing ever happened. Boom, beautiful. Okay, above 108.69, you watch for 118.50. Above there, 125.98. Above there, you have the big kahuna zone up there starting at 135.41. That's a big spot to watch over here. Okay, but if you can get above 118.50, you probably test 135.41. So this is really the next key spot right here at 118.50. TSM, I know, guys, same look on all of these things. We're still going to talk about it. All right, and the weekly chart here, you can see what I see. Okay, break and retest going on here. I know it's not as pretty as you'd like it to be. It's not as pretty as I'd like to be either. That's okay, guys. We don't need all the bells and whistles there. Okay, we just need them to function. Okay, and we got a function pattern over here. Okay, you lost the 0.786 fib. You've closed right here, slammed right into resistance at end of the day. You now have a little gap up going. Gap up above 148.43. That's going to be your best look for a retest of this low right here, 152.55. Above 152.55, you have 156.84, which is that gap resistance. Above there, 160.78. And that's what I'd be paying attention to as support. 142.20. Was your major level, your first all-time high over here, and that's, you know, what really established this resistance area here. Okay, so that's going to be a big spot. MU. Oh, you piece of garbage. Oh, you piece of garbage. It's okay, you piece of garbage. You're a little pretty guy. Kidding, you're not a pretty guy. You're ugly garbage here. It's okay. Let's just clean up that chart a little bit. Get that out of there. Get all these guys out of there. That out of there, and yeah, that's pretty to me. All right, guys, so you are retesting your golden pocket from this whole 2022 to 2024 rally, guys. That is almost 2 years of rally. Almost 2 years. Okay, like 1.75 years. You are now retesting the golden pocket from that zone. Okay, you've given back almost 50% of this, you know, whole move you got going on here. Okay, you keep that 50 freaking percent. You probably are going to start getting buyers stepping in around here. We could see some action went on right around here. This is probably where they start stepping in. Regardless, bottom of, you know, your risk here is 74.77. In the end, buyers step in somewhere in between current price and 174, or not 174, 74.77. Okay? That's what I am expecting here. Those are just my opinion, just my thoughts there. Okay, but daily RSI is oversold. Heavy volume on this. Not the biggest reaction day over here in MU. You know, not really a sign of strength. Okay, you have, you know, just a doji candlestick over here. But on the upside is resistance. You have 98.45 and then 105.72. That is what I'd be watching over here on MU. And, you know, as support, you're going to have that right there going on that you bounced off of. We're just going to make the next one, the low down there at 79.15. All right, so that is that. AMD, again with these 0.786 fibs today, guys. From this whole rally, all right, your whole impulsive rally here, okay? 134-day rally. You have pulled back 142%. You pulled back to the 0.786 fib of that whole rally. All right? Whole thing, guys. This is a whole impulsive move here that we can see clearly defined by the weekly chart. Okay, I know we got a lot of levels here, but I really just want to point out big boy reaction, daily bullish divergence off of your 0.786 fib. There's nothing better to see here. Okay, you just saw a 10+% rally here. You actually retested this previous uptrend, which that sucks. Okay, because that was the thing that was suggesting to me that, you know, we could be going a little lower. You retested right at the end of the day, and you sold off from there. That sucks, okay? We know it's being respected. You got to reclaim that trend line, or it's going to keep getting rejected and get slammed down. And then you get consolidation or lower prices, and neither of which, they're just not good for bulls. So that's that. Okay, so the levels I'd be paying attention to, guys, are above 134.05. You watch for 136.81. I know you're gapping up here in the after hours. Above 136.81, you have 141.15. That is going to be the low over here where you really broke down from. All right, so that is going to be a key spot for us to pay attention to for sellers to step back in. Above there, we have nothing. Okay, like we have this little spot. I can point it out. All right, little spot over here at 144.75. I'm actually going to use the high of that candlestick right there, 144.59, and above there, 148.78. That is that. Okay, guys, so those are the chips. Let's go over the big boys. Pessie, all right, came down to that 191.08 spot. You're now at 201.37 in the after hours. Big reaction from that spot. We could very clearly tell that. Okay. You got the increasing volume. I'm not going to call it the heaviest volume on the day with this massive, wide bodied bar here. But, it's okay. It's all good. On the upside for resistance, we watched 205.60 and above there 214.71. And that's really that. I'm going to take off this level right there. Above there, we have 233.09. That's a real clean chart for you. This thing looks sexy, okay? Amazon. Daily RSI, 26.24. Okay, pretty low there. Closed out with the wide-bodied green bar. You got the heavy volume on the day, not as heavy as, Friday, but, you still have that heavy volume going on. Hated that hammer candlestick. We are going to be looking for sellers to step in right over here at the low of that candlestick, 166.32. If they can reclaim 166.32, then we watch the high of Friday's candlestick at 168.77. Above there, we have these gray levels, which are going to be key spots. All right, so we have 170.83 of there, 173.87, and then 176.80. Now, in reality, we don't have to cover these levels all at once because we're probably not going to see a plus 10% day. I know we could see the minus 10% days. We can't see the plus 10% days. Sorry, guys. Market likes to take the stair step up constantly and then take an elevator down. It's just, oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Oh, wham. And that's that. That's how this market likes to do us. Do us nice and dirty there. That's that. Microsoft, what do we got going on, guys? Came down to 388.03 support. Low of that candlestick right there. Daily RSI is in the crapper. It's at 24.69 on the close, and that's with this market rally we had today. In the after hours, you are pushing the high of today's candlestick. On the upside, we have 404.51. Now, above today's high at 401.04, we have 404.51 that will likely be the path that goes. Quick move right here. Okay, above there, what are we paying attention to? You can have the low of that candlestick right there at 408.92 and then 413. That's what we got over here in the short term on Microsoft. Meta, all right, big boy move over here on Meta. But again, in this whole move, you just came back here into the golden pocket, just where you found buyers here, and now again you're finding buyers right there, stepping up right at the 454.46 support. You got above 466.75, and then you stalled out in this area of resistance up at 476.30 to 482.50. Okay, that is where you found buyers on Friday. Now you're finding sellers on Monday, so we know you got to reclaim that this little zone we got going on here. We could really refine this and just bring it. We'll create a new zone for you guys. Right there, down to there. Okay, if you can get above that 482.50 level, you stalled out right above that, less than $1 above it, 98 cents above it. If you can reclaim it and get over there, maybe you flip it 15-minute hourly chart intraday, 492.39. You got nothing in between here and here. That is a pretty big move there that can take place. There you go. Apple. I'd say this is probably the cleanest one we got going on right here. You came back and you I pointed out the other day, I didn't think it was going to happen. A bunch of these things I kept saying I didn't think it was going to happen. But, this is like no bias here. This is what the chart kind of says. We have room on the downside here to the retest of 199.62. This would be the picture perfect scenario here for, all structure. You got the retest, okay? You're retesting this, previous all-time high zone over here that held for a whole year. Now you're retesting it, okay? And you're finding buyers stepping in with heavy volume today. You probably are going to continue higher tomorrow, guys. Across the board, things don't look too bad, all right? Especially with how NQ and ES printed today, especially NQ. I don't think we're going to continue lower tomorrow. But, maybe I'll eat my words. We get another freaking 5% gap down, 4%. I don't know. I don't know. We will see. If that happens, I will again be flabbergasted. But you know what? I've been flabbergasted a whole lot lately, and it is what it is. And you just got to keep going. Apple. Okay, we're gonna take away some of these levels right there. We're gonna keep that, and we're just gonna have that, and we're gonna have this one right here. Okay, guys. So on this rebound here on Apple, we watched 214.62 for resistance, and above there we have 222.27. Okay, you know, we got movement in between these levels, guys. We got potential here for big moves over here in Apple. Okay, at support 206.59, and underneath there we're revisiting this low at 199.62. That's that. I mean, the low was all the way down here 196, but that's where we're gonna head, 199.62. Goog, what do we got going, guys? Large upper wick over here on Goog really is not the best look at all. It does look like you probably are going to continue lower tomorrow. All right, when you print these things, they typically don't end with the best results there. You typically go lower off of them. So, not the best look. Not the best look. Underneath here, the next area of support going to be down there at 152.77. All right, you do have, you know, some stuff you could put on your chart up at 155.05. Underneath 155.05, you have 152.77. All right, but I am just also going to point out you're testing the high up here if you come back down here. So, you know, you're probably going to end up having buyers stepping in right here because in the weekly chart, this is a very key spot. All right, and that's really all I got to point out over on Goog. Daily RSI is in the crapper like the other ones we pointed out, 27.57, and you're coming into that key weekly spot. Look for the reaction off of 155.20. Take off this level. Don't clutter your chart. These are the levels that are going to be respected. You take off these guys, okay? We'll take off that guy. And yeah, clean chart. All right, so these are the levels that will be respected. Above 167.70, we have 165.76 as marked the top today. Above there, we have 170.97. That's definitely going to be a key spot on this rebound here. Okay, and on the downside, we are really just watching 155.20. This is going to be the key weekly retest we got going on over there. All right, guys, so those are the big boys. Now, you want to talk about some real juicy things. I got you. All right, I got you. Bitcoin, daily hammer candlestick, 2 hours left till close. Let's get this lower wick, get the close like this. We probably just put in a short-term bottom for Bitcoin, and you're going to see the miners and the Bitcoin stocks go for a squeezy McSqueeze. We'll continue squeezy McSqueezing because they already did today. That is that. Very heavy volume on the day over here. I would say the same as you had over there that started marking your top. All right, guys. So, you know, big volume, which typically comes at turning points, top or bottom. So we typically do see, you know, big volume step in. That is what we're seeing right here. You've retested the golden pocket from this whole rally here. Okay, so it only lasted 2 months, but, you know, we've been consolidating here for half a year, doing absolutely nothing. This was the correction that was finally needed. Where you've been, you know, making it slow and painful. You finally you want to make it, hey, quick and painless. All right, that's what I like to see. The market has not been doing that. Okay, it has not been doing it, but it is now doing it. It does look like over here. Okay. So on Bitcoin, key level to hold here is 52884. Above there, we have 56500. Above there, we have 59,313. You are in the golden pocket here. Daily RSI is oversold. You got a hammer candlestick on the day that closes in 2 hours now, almost exactly 2 hours. Let's see how it closes. You close out like this. We probably do have a short-term bottom. We're probably retesting the spot right here at 59313, which is 8.9% above us, 9% above us. Coin, guys, holy short squeeze. Daily RSI was over here at 30. The thing, you know, this is a massive move over here on Coin. Congrats if you did end up playing it. All of the miners did very well today. Congrats if you ended up playing them. I actually looked at the premiums after close, and they were great. All right, they had great movement on this move. So congrats if you did end up playing them. Coin over here came down to this golden pocket. You found buyers. Daily RSI was nearing, well, it was in oversold territory off the open. But now you do have this thing still at 33.67. This thing is bottomed out around that for a while now. All right, that is a whole year. It's been following this. It's over a whole year. Okay, for, you know, you got to come all the way back over here to 2022 for this condition not to, you know, exist here. That's almost 2 years that every time this thing gets down there, you snap it back up. I don't think this is going to be different. I told you on these miners, the move was not going to be off earnings. It was going to be following earnings. with either direction. It follows earnings. You rarely have moves over here on coin, CLSK, Mara. You just rarely have these moves, especially Mara. Coin over here, we can see the reaction. The real one was the day after earnings. You had like a minus 20% day off the open here, and then you closed it for only minus 7%. Okay. Yeah, on the rebound, guys, expect sellers at 207.71. If you can reclaim that level, then you're watching right here at 223.03. You got to reclaim 194.93 for the chance of getting up to 207.71. That is that. Okay, but this was a key spot over here. Closed right above it. I like how you're in your golden pocket. I like how this daily RSI is almost oversold now. You have a recipe for if Bitcoin just, starts pushing back up, coin's probably going to recover back up here pretty quick. All right, and that is going to be how that goes. CLSK, similar look to coin over there, except you got the long lower wick at the bottom now and close out near the highs. I swear I can't go a single video without developing freaking hiccups. It is okay. All right, it is okay. Golden pocket test, broke the 0.786 fib, came down and held that 924 support. All right, I like how this thing is looking, even with, how this thing closed at the high after a 30 freaking percent intraday move. You still got the daily RSI right over there. The only thing is premiums are still juiced in the short term for over here. But I did actually look today, and, September calls are doing quite fine. They're, the premiums honestly aren't bad over here on CLSK. I wish I was looking that way today. And that would have made me a happy camper. That would have been good. It's okay. Regardless, guys, CLSK is the ticker of the Bitcoin stocks that I like to cover. I like to talk about the, plays that are possible over here. Okay, and the most recent one I spoke about was right here at 1391. You now got all the way down here to 924. All right, you are now playing with this thing is probably going to explosively snap back. From this whole move, you're in the golden pocket. I know you broke down underneath there, but for the real whole, move here, you've now gotten there. Okay, and if you're going to really look at the whole move for years now, okay, you're also in that golden pocket. You're probably going to be getting bought from here back into this range. Okay, you swept the lows. Now comes when you get back into this range. I don't know if you go to the top of the range, have that 70% move like I just showed. But, I do think it's probable that we start moving back into this range here. And then you can use these following levels as your guide. And that would be that. Mara, guys, okay, very similar look. Straight up short squeeze all day. 20% move, 23% move on the day. Daily RSI is at 36.30. Okay, it was down here at 30 off the open. You just, reversed. That's what I was saying. They keep making this slow and painful instead of making it quick and painless where, you might have to sit through a little red, but, it's going to quickly snap back. What they keep doing is it's annoying. Okay, you want to see everything just get oversold all at once. You want to see capitulation across the board. And, I think we got that, but at the same time, the market just crashed and said, screw you, Henry. So I don't know what's going to happen. That's that. We will just cover the technicals and just, have that cautious warning there that the market already kind of crashed there. And, it's an unknown environment that we were trading in. And that's that. Came down to 1462 support. You squeezed up off of that support. And then, that was wraps. That was all you saw all day is a straight up short squeeze. Now, the level to be paying attention to on this rebound is going to be this low right here. Okay, which is 1760. Above 1760, you have 1837, which is the low right there. Above there, this is where you really kind of broke down 1878. 1878 and 1837, those are, that's the key spot that I would be paying attention to over here on Mara. That's really that, right there, that zone. Riot, very similar sitch, except you fell a lot further over here on Riot. I'm not saying percent-wise, but, structurally speaking, it does not look like CLSK or Mara over there. You didn't really come down and bounce off anything. You just came down and held this golden pocket here, the 0.786 fib. Guys, you got 20 cents within testing the 0.786 fib. Daily RSI is at 35.14, so we know it's, pretty over there. Increasing volume on this to support this, wide body green bar here. I would just say, hey, out of all of them, I would say Riot is my least favorite here. It does not have it doesn't have structure to the chart. It doesn't. This is, you know, pretty ugly to me. And you're kind of just consolidating this range. I'm going to take right off of the tickers that we cover each day. I'm going to just do Bitcoin, Coin, CLSK, and then Mara. That's how I'm going to go do it. Because Riot, you know, I'm not going to be trading the thing. I don't know if you guys are trading the thing. I think the thing is constantly showing ugly price action. There's no reason we should even be covering or wasting our time with it. All right. But, you know, just because this is the last day, on the upside, you're paying attention to 861 above there, 905. And that is that. All right. So that is what I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed the video, I know it was a 50-minute video. Please remember to leave a like. I greatly appreciate that. And, you know, the more engagement we get on these videos, the more people we get to push them out to. And we get to grow our little corner of YouTube. And that is amazing. Okay. And then we hit this button.
That was easy.
All right. We hit that was easy button and put a smile on our face. And that is that. All right, guys. But, you know, in all seriousness, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Go check out the Twitter. Check out the Discord if you like. Links are going to be down below. And with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Happy market crash to everyone, and peace.